So much has changed since the early months of 2020. But even before the pandemic, the tide was turning. A new generation of workers is dominating the workforce, and their needs, not just of the physical work environment, but of work itself, are almost unrecognizable from what we accepted as immutable models of work just a few decades earlier.
How you experience that workplace. And I think what's different in terms of defining a connected workplace is that we can have more possibilities to do more things more quickly than ever before.
It could mean being connected in a digital world, but it can also mean that now we are just connecting more in a globalized society.
A new workplace is being molded, one based on connection. All of us now expect near seamless digital connectivity, both in our professional and personal lives. And the acceleration of moving operations online over the past 2 years has shown that organizations and people can adapt much faster than we thought. But whilst digital infrastructure is the essential foundation for a modern workplace, it is connection to others that will make the difference.
Understanding how they want to engage, how they want to be connected, how they don't want to be connected, being able to manage teams, regardless of where they are or whatever language they may speak.
Their expectations are changing. What is mindfulness? How can I combine my work life and my private life?
We have the opportunity, the privilege to write, to design something different from the past.
With so many pressures and new forms of disruption to navigate, organizations won't be able to keep hold of their people, let alone help them reach their full potential, unless they show flexibility and empathy. To do this, they must provide the platform, both from a technological and cultural perspective, that connects, empowers, and respects every member of the workforce.
Every day there is a great struggling to put people in the best condition to unleash their potentials.
Making sure people are connected, and I don't mean connected from a technology perspective. I think we've solved that problem. This is more connected on a human basis.
Obviously, every organization needs to earn money, and how can you offer ways where you still have a stable organization and at the same time having an offer for employees where they can take some time off, take care of themselves.
Retention, you can't buy it only with money. Actually understanding what is important for your employees in order to stay in the company.
When I think about a connected future workplace and everything that's changing around it, I also believe that leadership style needs to change. So when you don't necessarily see your employees every day, you need to be a different type of leader.
And it's somewhat ironic that often the more senior you are, or the more expert you are, the less likely you are to realize you need to adapt.
The team leads and the employees need to also be trained in how to notice when somebody is kind of falling through.
When I see teams from different backgrounds, I think this has huge benefits to everyone. But it also has a challenge, right? Like you need to act very inclusive as a team. You need to be aware of who's actually in the room, what languages, what understandings, what cultural behaviors are in the room.
But considering that the user is not a static actor, but a dynamic actor that is moving continuously, is evolving, so we need to redefine continuously this design.
Yes, we can work remotely. Yes, we can do our job from anywhere in the world. How long can they be out of the country? Can data flow across borders safely.
Where we're working, how we're working, who's working is all changing at the same time. And that ends up with tremendous excitement opportunities, but also tremendous challenges for leaders who are trying to manage it all.
The future of work is based on organizations' ability to build connections. And we've never been better placed to do that for those willing to rethink both their workspaces and their attitudes, and take the plunge into a connected, human-centric, brave new world of work.
The opportunities become the human opportunities.
I've heard from a lot of people that they're interested in re-entering the workforce. So people who left work because of the inflexibility. If you want to come back for 10 to 15 hours a week, the work is there.
People are feeling included. They feel like they can make a contribution. They don't feel like I'm the minority. They just feel like I'm a worker in this organization.
When you come to work, you come to work for other reasons, and that is to increase your belonging, your feeling of togetherness within the company. And that definitely is the red line where we're aiming when we're building these new kind of offices.
I think technology can accelerate inclusion in a couple of ways. Firstly, by empowering those people who've been disempowered before. So most obviously disabled folks, like we saw during the pandemic, that people were actually seeing disabled people on camera as people for the first time rather than their disability for the first time.
I think organizations, if they do embrace a truly global mindset, your resource pool immediately becomes the world.
Including people who are as different from you as you can handle. I think this drives innovation by definition. Because if innovation is bringing together different ideas to have a catalytic effect, to actually create new things, if you're just including the same people and the same ideas, you're not going to progress.
Life needs to have a purpose. So does the working life and also the private. If we have the same purpose and the same goal where we're heading, it makes much more sense for me to do my part in this one big whole.
When we put our people in the right conditions to develop an idea of trust, we are able even to create organizational trust. When we create organizational trust, we have a great impact on the market. So we will develop market trust and we can change society. We can create societal trust.
Here at NTT Data, we have an incredible policy, which is work from where it works. We need to work where it works for the employee, for the client, as well as NTT Data. What we found is people naturally start to find their own rhythm on when they want to start working from the office. People have a much better work-life balance, reduce the stress in their day-to-day commute, and therefore our productivity has actually increased significantly.
So you have to kind of, set up your working hours as you set up your private life. You also need some moments that you can kind of calm down, and that is exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring these together that you can live within your working life.
In the past, you looked at feasibility, viability, and desirability. Those were the three lenses that we always had. We added the fourth one of sustainability. So whenever you develop a new service or product, you now also need to consider on what is the impact on the planet and how can you change the product, adapt the product or the process to become more sustainable.
I believe in the future should start to move into more localized hubs to find that human interaction while having ultra-connected technologies empower them to connect to anyone or anywhere in the world.
If you don't adapt, if you don't transform, then you ultimately become irrelevant. Whereas if you do, not only can you give your team a more customer-centric approach, give your clients a more customer-centric approach, you can stay relevant and successful and competitive.
I think that the new keyword for the future is to have courage. We have to dare. We have to dare now, today, otherwise when?